Good morning, peace and blessings. Happy Saturday. Today they say it is 16 degrees on my thermostat. Man, just getting off from work. I had a good shift at Georgetown University Hospital. Shout out to you guys. But today, man, I want to talk about, just happiness, right? Finding what makes you happy, you know what I'm saying, in life, right? If you ask the average person now these days what makes them happy, it's hard to actually get a definitive answer about what makes an individual happy, right? Because most people don't even know, right? At the end of the day, you got to really deep down inside and dig to really think about what makes you happy, right? Some people like listening to music, some people like working out, some people like doing the things, but sometime in life, man, the simplest things, that makes you happy, right? Most people be thinking, for me, that I'm one of them type of people that I gotta always be doing some high-end shit. I care less about doing the high-end shit, really. I'm simple, man. I like to just, go places, man. But I like to experience places. I like to travel a lot. I like to go visit different places. I like to go to museums. Just get culture, man. You know what I'm saying? I told myself for 2026 I was gonna do more concerts. There's nothing wrong with the go-go scene, I like it, but after a while it kind of get a little old for me, you know what I'm saying? No disrespect, I love go-go, but I'm a Washingtonian native, you know what I'm saying? I'm always love my native, go-go, right? But I want to, start getting more into jazz. I always like opera. Anybody that know me, I like opera. I like all different type of music, classical music and stuff like that. But sometimes you got to embroider your writing, right? I told myself this year I was going to kind of cut back off of TV and I was going to get into, just more like reading, right? And I found that when I was incarcerated, reading did a lot for me. Sometimes when they say that when you go through, have to be incarcerated, what helps you a lot, the body might be incarcerated, but the mind, oh man, I used to go so many different places in my mind when I was incarcerated that sometimes I didn't even want to come out the cell because I felt like deep down inside it wasn't nothing but a bunch of chaotic, stuff going on. And then I've heard people say to me, hey man, you mean to tell me you don't know how to play spades or you don't know how to play dominoes because I was incarcerated? Man, I wasn't going to prison to try to learn how to play no board games. I was trying to learn life lesson skills so I can never have to come back to this shit no more. And I can't say I did learn some life lesson skills. I met an old Jewish dude named Marty Goldfarb. Anybody that was in with me, they know exactly who he was, right? He was from Ohio. I don't know if he's still living on that, but he ran a car lot, right, in Ohio. He was incarcerated he had, I guess, the director of DMV. He caught him in some type of situation where he filmed him, and he was getting young kids or young people in Ohio to steal cars, but he actually can get the titles for him. So they gave him a certain amount of time, right? But, for whatever reason, he gravitated to me, trying to be my friend. And if you've been around any Jewish person, and no disrespect to Jewish people, but they can be real, they don't know what to say out their mouth sometimes, right? Especially to minorities, the older Jewish people, they will come out their mouth reckless to you, right? And granted, I used to always tell them, man, you got to be, a little bit more careful about what you say to people, right? I remember we had this incident, man, where he pissed off an imam, right? And he thought he was doing something slick by defecating in a paper bag or a sandwich bag and putting it up under his pillow. If anybody know anything about, imams and Muslim brothers, they keep their Quran up under their pillow on their bed, right? So he get to bragging about how, he defecated, and it was an older dude, like 70-something. I was so surprised, that he had did something ignorant like that, because he was actually the person who taught me about the stock market, how to trade, metals, wheat, soybeans, and stuff like that, right? So he taught me that. And I remember all my friends used to always say, yeah, man, why you messing with all these Italians, and why you messing with all these white boys and this and that? I'm like, listen, brother. At the end of the day, ain't nobody, when I get out in the world, most people, they concentrate on being strong and all that and physically building their body, but they don't think about their mental. At the end of the day, when I went, and I said to myself, didn't like it, wasn't coming back, I wasn't gonna revisit the same thing over and over. And that's what I tell people, man. You know, once you go through something that you really don't like, you don't keep revisiting the same thing over and over unless you just a freak for punishment and you like pain, you like going through ups and downs. You know, you get out here, you try to get a little bit of money, then you go back for a bit. You know, when you young, you can do that. But when you get to be old at my age and you still want to be a street nigga, you are a dinosaur, man. You are so dangerous to really think that you 50, 60 something years old and you in the streets. Man, you got to be crazy, bro. You got to be nuts to even be thinking about being out here in these streets. I think people used to never say that the streets will be obsolete. Bro, now these days, you be better off going to work, man, working a job. You come off much better with a job. And then on top of it, if you don't got no credit, the thing I always tell people, man, listen this. If you don't got you no credit, get you some credit. Because one thing about if you get you some credit, even though you ain't got no money, you can get you some money with good credit, right? And I told all my children, shout out to my children, they'll tell you, I told them at a young age, I taught them about credit. Don't mess your credit up. Somebody asks you, especially my daughter, some dude asks you, can you put this in your name for you? Hell no. Because first of all, if a mother got to ask you to put anything in their name, first of all, they doing something criminal. Second of all, they don't got no good credit. And that just says a lot about a person that needs you to put something in their name. They trying to hide from something, or they got messed up credit, right? And that says a lot about people, right? When they, and I'm not going to say that people don't go through things in life. People get a divorce. People, man, lose their job. Their credit can get messed up and anything like that. But when you blatantly just fuck your credit up just to be fucking it up, or you just don't like paying bills, because you got some people who just don't like paying bills, right? Unfortunately, them the type of people that, unfortunately, I'm not going to say everybody, but that's why you find a lot of homeless people. I remember one time I spoke with a homeless dude, right? And, you know, I was kind of fascinated, and I asked him, I went up to him, I said, no disrespect to you, sir, but I would like to know how you got to this point in life, right? And I always thought about his response, man, and this shit was like 89. He said, I never thought about my future, young man. And every day, man, when I wake up, I think about, even though I may not make it to be 60, 70, 80, I don't know, but, you know, God willing, I asked him to give me the breath in my body. But I sure enough planned for it. You know, I saved, because at the end of the day, man, you know, I've had the things that I want in life. There's nothing too much out here I really want. But the vacation, live the rest of my life, me and my wife doing the things that we do. We got a comfortable life. We built, you know, a few businesses together, man, from the bottom up. And one thing I can say, man, about my wife is this. And I know she's not no angel, but one thing I can say, man, I asked God to put her in my life, and she, you know, showed me time after time. Because I had went through some things where financially my accounts got frozen. You know, she could have easily just said, you know, I ain't messing with this dude, you know. And we had been together for a while, but, you know, unfortunately things happen. But I got it straightened out, and I always told myself, man, you know, for me, loyalty mean a lot, right? And I know that mean a lot with women too, right? That loyalty. But, you know, one thing that I don't get with men, when y'all start cheating on your wives or your girlfriends and stuff, why the hell do you pillow talk and tell your side chick everything about your main girl? So when you know when it ever hit the fan, that side piece gonna tell your girl or your wife, oh, he told me this about you, he told me that about you. And at the end of the day, for me, I think that's the most ultimate betrayal, that you side talking, pillow talking about your spouse badly, right, to another man or another woman. Let me ask you this question, just the $64,000 question. Do you not think that when you speaking ill will about the person that you live with, or you dating, or you cheating, the person that you cheating with, you ain't formless in his mind to think, well, damn, if she's saying this about him, imagine what she would do to me. You know, tell me what you think. Like and subscribe, man. I'm gonna keep making content. Today, I'm gonna literally go into my office and set up my, you know, Speaking My Truth podcast, and we're gonna sit down and chop it up and see what I can come up with today, just about different topics. And if you want to chime in, or you wanted me to speak about different things, man, about fatherhood, manhood, entrepreneurship, you know, working, and how I had to transition myself from, man, being a street dude to a working dude, because that's a total different mindset, bro. When I tell you that's a total different mindset, going from having whatever you want, whenever you want, so now you got to set a budget. You can't spend but so much. But then, you know, that comes with discipline. And most black men, need discipline. You know what I'm saying? And most times they get discipline is when they go incarcerate, go into the military. But, you know, at the end of the day, discipline is for a man that really need it. It actually can put a lot of things in your life perspective when you got discipline. When you wake up every day, you can start with something small, making your bed every day. You know what I'm saying? Reading a book or just doing things that can elevate and do something for yourself. Tell me what you think. Like and subscribe. Go to my channel. Man, I'm trying to build this because I can show you better than I can tell you. My thing, I want to, man, kind of build something for the young generations to show them, hey, man, listen, we can't depend on, man, people always taking kids. Look at the SNAP program. Look at the, man, Section 8 and all that. You know, what we got to do is start waking up, man, and thinking about the survival of our people, bro, because, granted, don't nobody care about you surviving out here. You know, your parents might love you, but the society don't give a fuck about you. Excuse my language. They don't care. You know, so tell me what you think. Want you have a beautiful, blessed day. And today is a beautiful fight that's about to come on today for boxing. I'm a boxing head. So, Fimo Lopez and we got Shakur Stevenson. Tell me what you think. Tell me who you think might win that fight. Man, give me some feedback. Help me grow this channel. Peace and blessings.